Donovan Mitchell, man, he has sustained a nasal fracture, the latest of all the injury reporting this year that has gotten super specific about metatarsals and other stuff. Broken nose, right? That's what this is. Donovan Mitchell about to get a nose job. But
yeah, when you look at how it happened, because I went and I was like, oh, I actually missed the play when it happened. It happens with Tristan Thompson going for a rebound and just like people's elbowing him in the nose. So like, I don't know that it's more complicated than broken nose, but yes, nasal fracture is maybe the artisanal version.
John is confirming that Nick Stauskas did outlast the bottle. He played 21-22 with Boston and Miami. So shout out to Stas Castillo again. Yeah, man, I think back to task. We've talked about it with your Darius Garland thing from the very, very beginning of the year. Donovan's been in and out of the lineup. Yeah, Mobley's been in and out of the lineup. There was all this talk in the preseason about JB Bickerstaff being on the hot seat before they turned the corner and they moved forward to be the real third seed in the East right now. Like I don't think this is like just by default of New York and Philly having, and like, sure, that helped a lot, but the Cavs went out there and took this thing. They went on that 11, 12, whatever it was, game winning streak without two of their top four players. I don't, this is not a hatery thing. This is an empathy thing. I'm starting to get worried for the good people of Northeast Ohio, for the Kelsey brothers and everyone else, that the Cavs might just be doomed, man. They seem to have like a spook going around. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, the framing on it, you're right. You notice it's not just Donovan Mitchell being out now. It's Max Strus missed the last 9 games with a knee strain. Evan Mobley's been out, as you mentioned, with a sprained left ankle. Dean Wade missed the last handful of games too. So they've had like multiple rotation pieces out at the same time for most of the last several months. And they've powered through that to a large degree. And, Donovan Mitchell was a giant part of that. In December and January, heading up to the trade deadline, which is why, up to the All-Star break rather, which is why he was, I had him as an All-Star starter. He made the game. He was in position to be an All-NBA player. Fringe MVP candidate that people were started talking about when they were at their hottest, and now he's going to fall short of the 65-game threshold for year-end award consideration. And that's a bummer in, one vein where it's like this guy's playing maybe the best basketball of his career. The other side of it, though, is they have been, so to your point about them being sort of unlucky, I actually did a little reporting on this, Jake. I don't know if you know this about reporting. I reached out to Jeff Stotts from In Street Clothes, who is like the injury guy, at In Street Clothes on Twitter, InStreetClothes.com. You should absolutely check out his work. He's second to none when it comes to explaining.
The one Twitter doctor that we trust.
Yes, when it comes, physical trainer, or athletic trainer. Athletic trainer is the term for it. But he is great at explaining what these injuries are, what the general prognosis is, and then has a database of going back with injuries of like, this is how long this kind of injury typically takes to come back from, yada, yada, yada. I asked him, like, are they particularly unlucky this year? Where are they in terms of their injuries this season? And as of the March 18th, so a couple days ago, Cleveland had lost 184 games, player games lost. That's the 11th most in the league. It's 7th most in the East. So not like overwhelmingly, injury racked. The team that's had the worst luck with that is the Memphis Grizzlies, have lost 418 player games. It's more than twice as many as Cleveland. And it's the gap between them and number 2, which is the Hornets, is as large as the gap between number 2 and number 15. Like the Grizzlies have just lost everybody, with the exception of Jaren Jackson Jr., basically all season. And so they are head and shoulders above that. But when it comes to postseason teams, the Cavs are like one of the more injury ravaged teams in that mix. The Sixers losing Embiid has been an issue. The Heat have had guys in and out. Jimmy Butler's missed a bunch of time. Bam Adebayo's missed a bunch of time, etc. But they have really been damaged by this, and it's put them in a position now where, yes, they're still third in the East, but that's slipping, man. 7-9 since the All-Star break. They're now just 1 game up in the loss column on the Knicks, only 2 up on the Magic. Pretty much every projection system you look at now sees them as falling out of 2 behind my Milwaukee into 3, and is giving both the Knicks and the Magic still like an outside shot of getting up into 3. So they've been a hard luck team at precisely the wrong time for it, and it could wind up being, a season that had such great promise, and where it looked like they had solved some of the problems that really plagued them during the first round of the playoffs. They might not even get the chance to kind of prove it. Which,
just like we could say for 7, 8, 9, maybe all 16 teams that end up making the playoffs, there are going to be, we've been saying this, there are going to be stakes for all these teams that have championship aspirations, for teams that want to get out of the first round, for teams that want to get out of the second round, that if they don't, not to be the doomsdayer, just always looking forward to the offseason guy, but that is the overall context and landscape that does set the backdrop for a lot of these people who are actually on the ground doing the things, playing the games, coaching on the sidelines, trying to figure out how to move this thing forward deeper into the postseason. So there's going to be all that extra element is going to add more flavor to me for the postseason.